And I want to bring up now Jessica Miller-Ross.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight I'm excited to be introducing our guest speaker, Michael Laidler. He is a dad, international best-selling author, leadership coach, corporate trainer, and keynote speaker, whose unwavering commitment to excellence, passion, and loyalty has earned him the reputation as an up-and-coming industry leader. Over the course of a decade, he has garnered extensive leadership experience, primarily in the law enforcement sector. Michael is a certified coach, trainer, and speaker with the John Maxwell team, facilitating numerous mastermind groups, providing one-on-one coaching, offering e-courses, and hosting leadership workshops. Michael holds a master's degree in business administration from Morehead State University and a bachelor's degree in business and Spanish from Florida State University. He proudly served as the president of the Confident Allies Toastmaster Club in Pineville, Louisiana, where he has received multiple awards, including first place in the Toastmasters International Speech and the evaluation contest at the division level. Would you please welcome Michael Laidler?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Jessica. Art, setting up this. Terry, staying in contact with me. Our area director, Jay McKinney, as well, joining us from Confident Allies in Pineville. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to leave this podium in front of me tonight. I'm going to slide it out the way because that's the way I do things. As I was thinking about a topic, an area to speak about that can best suit our presentation, our open house tonight, I thought about why. When I told Grace about it, she thought I was questioning her. But think about it. Why are you here tonight? You could be anywhere in Alexandria, Pineville, Central Louisiana, but you chose to come here tonight. And a quote by Simon Sinek, he says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Think about that when you think about Toastmasters. You chose to come here. You chose to think about what can I do tonight to improve, not my public speaking, but rather my leadership and communication skills. And we actually heard that in the Toastmasters motto. It took me a while to realize my why, 32 years to be exact. I'm going to run you guys a little bit about why it took me so long, and hopefully when you hear my story, it doesn't take you as long to figure out what you can do to find your why. As Jessica did a great job in my bio, I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, to a single mother and my grandmother. They taught me a lot about dedication, respect, and hard work. And that guided me. That taught me, okay, I'm going to wake up every day, go to school, go to work, do what I need to survive. But there was still something missing. When I went to college, Florida State University, I was like, man, there's more. There's something else that I need to do. So at 19 years old, I became a police officer in Tallahassee. During that time, I became a field training officer, so I was already using my leadership skills. That wasn't a problem. But I was still thinking, man, there has to be more. So being curious and just wanting more, I moved to Laredo, Texas, as a border patrol agent. If you guys haven't been to Laredo yet, you're not missing nothing. Don't go. During my time as a border patrol agent in Laredo, I became a canine handler. And during that time, I was still thinking, man, what am I missing? Out of more curiosity, I went and got a master's degree in business. Another thing to do, if you're curious, do not spend $40,000 to figure out why you're curious. Towards the end of my time in my master's degree, I decided that it was time to move back to Florida. My son was born, and I kind of looked at the big picture of things, and I didn't know how I could explain him growing up in Laredo and becoming a successful member of society. Not saying anything wrong, I just didn't understand that for his end. Thus, I moved back to Florida, became a correctional officer with the federal prison, and during that transition from going from Border Patrol to becoming a correctional officer, I was actually in my last semester of my master's degree. And that last semester was the very first time I took a course on leadership. And then it started, that little mouse that runs on that wheel, it started to move a little bit. Not fast, but just a little bit. And it made me more open. It made me more aware of where I needed to go in my life. About a year and a half later, I became a lieutenant here in Louisiana. And at that point, I was just pushed into leadership. I didn't have much training beside a master's degree, and if you guys know anything about degrees and real-world application, it typically does not mix. So I was thinking, well, how can I lead people? How can I guide them? How can I take them to the next level? So I found Toastmasters. And in February of 2016, I joined a local Toastmasters club over in Pineville. And that was the beginning of my path to learning more about leadership and communication. During my time in Toastmasters up to this point, I've been a vice president of education, I've been a president, and now a treasurer. And I can tell you, during that time, I started to learn my why. I didn't still know it completely yet, but I was starting to learn what I was designed to do, my purpose here in the world. In June of 2017, I found out this great program called the John Maxwell Team. And that provided me with not just the education, but the experience of being a coach, trainer, and speaker. And now that mouse is starting to turn a little bit quicker on the wheel. It's starting to spin, I'm getting a little bit of momentum. It's off the wheel yet, so that's a good thing. So in September of 2017, a few months later, I opened up my business, my coaching, training, and speaking business. And in one of the very first coaching sessions I was having, I was talking to this young lady, and I asked a question. And I heard a pause in her voice, and she gave an answer that she never knew that she had in her. What I found out is that I helped her unlock her potential. And that's when I found out what my why was. My why is to add value to people. It's to take them to the next level, whether they're at the base or at the top. My goal is to get them to another part that they weren't before they met me. And it varies, and I can show them some things, I can show them some things and what not to do. But when I found my why is when I became more happy. It's when I became more content, more fulfilled. And I can tell you, even up to today, whether having a full-time job, having a business, for me, that intrinsic reward that you get when you help people, it's no way to measure it. You can't put a dollar sign. You can try to put a dollar sign, and trust me, when people pay me, I don't tell them not to. However, that feeling you get is worth more than any dollar you can have. So as you sit here tonight and you think about your why, think about where to start. For me, my why started to come around in Toastmasters. That was what started to get that mouse going a little bit quicker on the wheel. And just like it says, it's one of the very first things in Toastmasters, it starts with a single speech. That's how your journey starts. And when you're able to take that speech and figure out how to turn it into success, that's when you start to see your why. Because I can tell you, everybody sitting in this room tonight, no matter what your purpose was, somewhere in your mind, you wanted more. You wanted to take wherever you're at now to another level. Whether it was being a pastor of a church, being a school teacher, working at an auto parts store, no matter where you're at, you're thinking, you know what, I came here on a Monday night in Alexandria, Florida, to do more. So my question for each of you in here is, what is your why? What is it that you're thinking about doing right now to take yourself to the next level? I would say join Toastmasters. That would probably be one of my first suggestions of why you're here. Figure out how to get into a club right now. Figure out how to get yourself motivated and surround yourself with people that want to see you grow. Because in this environment, you can practice, you can fail, and you can succeed. but with people that are going to smile. People that are going to have a good time. People that are going to set up open houses to bring more people in. And that's the kind of environment that I love being in. Some people look at Toastmasters and they may joke around and tease and say, oh, you're a Toastmasters. But, they're still going to call you when they need help. Whenever you need a presentation, someone needs you to speak in front of some children, people want you to lead a group, who do you think they're going to call? The person that's been joking, saying, oh, look at him in Toastmasters, or the person that's actually in it. In worst case scenario, try Toastmasters out. It's an investment in yourself. We at Toastmasters only charge $45 every 6 months. That's $250 a night if you come once a week. Think about what that means to you. So for me, I spent, $270 in the last 3 years on Toastmasters? And I can tell you I've made much more in my business, especially speaking and in my corporate presentations, than $300. So it might be a small investment, however, it's going to equal a great reward. So in my final statement, I want you guys to think about this, and I'll let the Toastmaster come back up here in a minute, or whoever will be coming up. What is your purpose, and why are you here tonight? Mr. Toastmaster.
Well,